And I stopped it completely. And looking back on that time in my life, there was one thing that actually made that so seamless. And it was a bit crazy what I did. Welcome back, boys. I had a call yesterday with some boys from the Gorilla Tribe. It's our self-improvement community. And one of the guys, he said to me, Jack, do you ever feel like you get to a point where you improve your life? Your life's going well, you're actually doing well, and then you destroy it. You self-sabotage because maybe you're uncomfortable with that new level of success or that new level of getting things right. And I related to that so much because I think all of us do this. We have like a ceiling on where we're happy being. So when we're down here and we're fucking really depressed or really like we've been doing things so bad, we've been drinking too much, we've been not sticking to our goals at all, we snap out of it and we're like, all right, let's improve. And we get to a ceiling, and at this point, when we've improved enough, when our body's looking good enough, we've hit gym enough times in a row, often we can self-sabotage back down to this point. And the reason we get frustrated is because we spend life in between these self-imposed barriers rather than excelling out of that ceiling to a new place where life is better than it's ever been before. So this video is how to build discipline and continuously win. How do we make ourselves continuously win rather than taking the foot off the gas when we have that first small win? And there's a few things I've used along my journey that's helped me. I'm going to share them with you. Hopefully they can help you as well. The true definition of hell is meeting the man you could have been. I read that quote and it scared me, and that's one of the main things that drives me. So first one, boys, take that in. It would be an absolute travesty to meet the person you could have become if you'd only tried, if you'd only not given up when things got slightly good for you, and that's a worrying fact. So keep that as like an inside furnace that keeps you pushing on. We must all suffer from one of two pains, and that's either the pain of discipline, of doing the things you don't want to do, of doing the workouts, of continuing working, the outreach, whatever it is, of doing that, or it's the pain of regret. And the rest of this quote is, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. So you've got to make sure that you are continuously having the pain of discipline, and then you won't be burdened with the huge pain of regret later on in life when you wish you'd taken the chances and done the things you know you should have done. If you ever look back and think, wow, if I just stuck with guitar or piano, I'd be a fucking maestro by now, I'd be fucking Jimi Hendrix by now. If you think that regularly, this might be an issue in your life between comfort and discipline, where you are giving away the pain of discipline practice, of discipline continuation of whatever task it is you're on, and you're swapping it for the comfort of giving that thing up. But then the problem is you get burdened with the pain of regret later down the line. One of the first things I had to overcome was defeating comfort in your mind, because a lot of us, and many guys say this to me, I just want to do this, this and this, so then I can have the life of leisure and I can just chill and I can relax and I don't have to do anything anymore. And I understand that. It feels like if you're not doing the right things, if you're not getting any fulfillment out of your work, you want to do that. You want to get the money, get it done, and then just chill and just do what you want to do. But the point of being a man is that you're so aligned with your purpose, you're so aligned with something that actually makes you feel good, that you don't have to escape from it. You actually enjoy the pain of becoming better and better at that, becoming a better and better man, and that's where you get the boost. Now, the reason discipline destroys regret is because if you are disciplined, you don't let your emotions rule your life. So if you've come up with everything you want to achieve on a day you are feeling good, you know that's in line with what you actually want. And then on a day you're feeling bad, you use your increased discipline to not quit. You are saving yourself the pain of regret. First place, we need to implement discipline, and every time my life comes off track, or I don't feel good in myself and I start to think, is it all worth it? Or things like that, those negative thought patterns, they always link back to a lack of sticking with the basics. When you have your exercise, your diet, your sleep and your nutrition, when that's in line, when you are doing that well, you feel good. And it's surprising how many people think they've got a much bigger problem than they do. They think they've got to change careers, they think they've got to change business, nothing's working, no one likes them. Bro, you just needed a bit more sleep. Like, you've been running off 5-6 hours sleep for 2 weeks, and you're surprised that you feel a little bit depressed and down every day. It's like, have a look at your life right now. Are you getting 8 hours sleep? Are you training regularly 4 or 5 times a week? Are you eating the right stuff, the right proteins? Are you having a lot of sugars? I've just realised I put diet and nutrition as obviously the same thing. Diet and nutrition, the same thing. So exercise, diet and sleep. Those are the things you want to look at. If you're feeling bad in your life right now, sort those things out first. Then move on to the others afterwards, because you might just have a whole new boost of confidence by keeping discipline with the basics. All right, here's how you can use discipline around your goal setting, because I used to set huge goals. I would write big mood boards and shit. I'd stick a load of Ferraris on a mood board. I'd get a load of like money and shit, girls, and I'd make the biggest goals. I'm going to make 10 mil this year. Next year I'll be a millionaire. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You can aspire to that, but just realise that it's the wrong way to set goals. And when I started setting goals backed by discipline that were only backed by things I can control, since then I've found a lot more success in completing the goals. I know if I didn't complete the goal, it was actually just down to me. So now I set goals that I can directly control. So I would set something like, I want to make 15 videos this month. Now the back end of that might be that you gain 20k subscribers because one of the videos pops off. But rather than making the goal, I want to gain 20k subs, you can think that in your mind, but then you go, okay, what's my part of that? I need, the more content I can make, the better I can make my content, the more likely it is I'm going to get 20k subs. So you split it down, and your goal for the month is make 15 videos that are all of the best quality. And that is now your goal. If your goal is to make 10k a month, you have a look at the vehicle that you currently have for wealth. And let's say that's sales, and currently it takes you 10 calls to make a sale. And a sale's worth $100, then you have to figure out how many $100 sales do I need to make. You figure out how many calls you need to do. You hit your metrics, and your goal is not the 10k. Your goal is to hit the amount of calls you needed, do the amount of quotes you needed to do, things like that. So boys, if you're setting these big goals, they can make you feel bad because you might not achieve them and it wasn't down to you. So only set goals based around the habits you need to actually get where you want to go. What if you struggle with discipline? I went through a long time, not that long, 2 years of pretty regularly taking drugs, smoking, drinking alcohol. I was drinking alcohol badly. I was not just boozing occasionally. I was boozing every single night, bar a couple of nights for roughly 2 years. And then I went completely cold turkey and I stopped it completely. And looking back on that time in my life, there was one thing that actually made that so seamless, and I changed my identity. And it was a bit crazy what I did. I signed up for a fight. A lot of you will know that already. I signed up for an MMA fight because I knew I needed to get in shape. I needed something to work towards. But I didn't just sign up for the fight. I was, from that moment that I signed up, I started telling everyone I was a fighter. So whenever I go in the sauna, at the gym, people say, what do you do for a living? I'll be like, yeah, I'm a fighter. I'm like, yeah, I'm training for my next fight right now. I'm an MMA fighter. And obviously it was I was fighting, but it was a little bit over the top. I mean, I shouldn't really have been saying that, but I just needed that change in identity, and I managed to go completely cold turkey and all that stuff because I no longer associated myself with being that person. Whenever I was at a party, because I'd still go out, I'd see my friends, and they'd be like, oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You want to drink? You want to smoke? I'd be like, no, mate, I can't. I've got a fight coming up, training for the fight. And people would respect it. People would be like, oh, yeah, he's fighting, fair enough. And for me, that really helped me change my identity. And then after the fight, I'd become that new person. I was like, no, I'm an athlete now. I'm an athlete, I'm a fighter. I wasn't really a fighter. I was still working a 9 to 5. I was signed up for an amateur MMA fight, but I changed the way I saw myself in my head, and it worked out positively for me. And I think if you do the same thing, if you're currently think to yourself or describe yourself in a way that is negative, let's say you're a gamer, you're a porn watcher, and you walk up to everyone and you say, yeah, they say, what do you do? And you say, I'm a porn watcher. Obviously, you're going to keep watching it because that's your identity. Or you say, I'm a gamer. Yeah, I'm a big gamer. Change what you say. Figure out a goal that you'd be really proud of and start associating yourself with that instead. We're all looking for the quick fix. We're all looking for the easy way. It's not going to happen, boys. You've got to embrace the suffering. Me and my buddies, we do a thing, meet up at the sauna. We go in the sauna and we put the timer on. It's incredibly hot. It's about 100 degrees Celsius, between 80 and 100 degrees Celsius, depending on the day. Inside this sauna, it is baking hot. And we put the timer on. The timer's a 20-minute timer. And at about 10 minutes, you are sweating and you are feeling like pounding head. You want to get out of there. And we do a challenge where we see how long we can stay in there for. I sit in there and you can allow suffering to take your power. I've seen it happen. People head down the sauna. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, complaining about it. I've done that as well. Happens. But if you switch your mindset and you make it harder for yourself, so there's a top shelf in the sauna. Sometimes I'll sit on the bottom. I'll be struggling. 5 minutes left. And I go, you know what? Fuck this. Sit on the top shelf where it's hotter. Sit up straight. Back straight. Go, yeah, give it to me. give it to me. I feel like dying. I want to get out of there. But when you elevate yourself to that level, when you go through the suffering, you embrace it, and then you challenge it. You say, yeah, you think that's suffering? I'll show you suffering. Show me how hot you can make it. And then you sit up top. You get this new power, and that last 5 minutes I can do easier than 5 minutes I was sitting on the floor. That's the power of the mind, and you've got to associate that into everything you do. Every workout, everything you do. If you want extra power, do more. If you've done that little run and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do an extra K on the end. Or you've done a bit of work, you've done your outreach, and you say, you know what, I'm going to double it, and you just go for it. Trust me, boys, there's unlimited power there, and that's what I think is the route to where you actually want to go. Success comes down to figuring out the perfect day, figuring out how you can push yourself the hardest for the perfect day, completing it and doing it over and over again. And then when you get to those points where you think you're successful, you want to give it up, you don't give it up because you found pleasure in the process. And that is the difference between guys that do okay and the guys that become true champions. They can just line up perfect days time after time after time. So boys, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's a fun one for me. And I'll see you boys on the next one. If you want to join the tribe, I'm actually closing the tribe now. I'm doing 50% off. If you want to join, the link's in the description. I'm doing a special offer. So if you want to join the tribe, it will be closing in 2 days. You'll have to go on a waiting list to get in. You will not be able to just buy the course, buy the tribe, get into the WhatsApp group, just because I want to add some more value to the guys that are already in there. If you've been mulling it over, if you've been thinking about it and you've not yet joined, and you want the chance to network with those boys, you want to see all the Triple Your Testosterone course stuff, you really want to sort of elevate yourself for January, check it out in the link below. It'd be great to talk to you. Drop me a DM in the WhatsApp when you join. But apart from that, boys, I will see you on the next one. Whoopah! Whoopah!